I'm starting to see people talking about the fog finally.
Like apocalyptic fog.
Flights have been canceled. Here's Salt Lake City. We're seeing this in Canada.
It's been here for literally months.
So I'm getting reports from people from Connecticut down to Texas to Houston of strange, weird smelling fog.
It's weird because as it gets later in the day, fog should lighten and dissipate, and it's really not. It smells like after you set off a bunch of fireworks, and like the taste of the air. I mean, the only word I can think of is toxic.
All right, no.
I've lived in Florida for over 10 years of my life. I have never smelt fog before.
My friend who lives in East Texas woke up today and this is what was in her pool. No, she did not change any chemical regimen in her pool. The only thing that she said that was kind of weird was there was some really odd fog yesterday.
We've got people in Kentucky, we've got people in Sweden, we've got people in Finland, all reporting the same thing. The fog has made them sick.
Welcome or welcome back to the show. I'm Anna and you're watching Anna Speaks Out. Thanks for being here.
So in case you weren't aware, there was a Stephen King movie that came out in 2007 called The Mist that some people would probably refer to as possible predictive programming regarding the situation that we have going on now with the strange fog all over the world.
What's going on? It's death.
Something in the mist! Shut the doors! Shut!
Are those bugs? Not like any I've ever seen. I promise you won't let the monsters get me.
What are you guys messing with up there?
I thought that there were other dimensions. They wanted to try and make a window.
Well, maybe your window turned out to be a door.
CERN, anyone? Does that ring any bells? It's interesting that in the movie they refer to something being in the mist because, at least in Florida, some people have been seeing some strange looking snow-like particles in the fog when they shine a light on it. So this was originally posted on TikTok by somebody called Revelation Road, and they say this fog does not look like fog. And it was on December 30th of 2024 in Florida. And then the Instagram description reads, "No, it's not snow. You can only see it in the light. People are calling it smart dust." And I think it's why everyone is sick right now. Also, if you didn't know, there is a US patent that exists that is for the production of intense artificial clouds, fogs, or mists. And it was apparently put into use during World War I for the purpose of military camouflage and such things. And here's another example of what some people are saying could potentially be a smart dust.
This video was sent to me from Oklahoma, and I know it looks like snow, and I asked the fella who sent it, that looks like snow. He said, that's just under camera. Under the naked eye, like what you see, it looks like fog.
Imagine a world where every corner, every nook, and every cranny is connected, monitored, and optimized. Welcome to the era of smart dust. These tiny, wireless sensors are revolutionizing the way we collect data and monitor our environment. Picture this: microscopic sensors scattered like dust particles, each equipped with the ability to sense, process, and communicate information. Smart dust operates autonomously, gathering real-time data and transmitting it wirelessly to a central hub for analysis. Smart dust sensors can communicate with each other, forming a network that collaborates to provide a comprehensive view of our environment. They work in harmony, sharing information and adjusting their behavior based on collective intelligence. smart dust is silently watching, learning, and shaping the world around us. Welcome to the age of smart dust, where big changes come in tiny packages.
Smart dust proposal that many of you have seen before. The idea was to combine MEMS for optical comms with sensors, a CMOS controller, solar power and batteries into a 1 cubic millimeter platform. And DARPA did fund that in '97. Al Pisano funded it. Elias Toey was the program manager. Most recently, Michel Maharbez and Jose Carmena are using neural dust. They're using piezoelectric power harvesting via ultrasonics for implantable sensors in the brain and in the body to both detect and stimulate neural activity and solving medical problems with that. And this company, IOTA Biosciences, which was recently acquired for a few $100 million.
Here's a photo of what an ultra small piece of smart dust looks like. I can see how people are making the connection. And another interesting aspect of this whole thing is that there was some strange, very significant fog for a number of days in the past.
On December the 5th, 1952, a nauseating yellow-gray fog engulfed London, claiming 12,000 lives. This wasn't mere mist. It stank of rotting eggs and stretched 30 miles wide. Buses halted, planes were grounded, and ambulances were trapped. For 5 days, the city vanished in the stench and sludge. Streets slick with a black ooze. Those who dared ventured out stumbled blindly, smudging their faces while birds crashed into buildings.
But by 1952, pollution was still very much a problem. At that time, coal was still a common power source, with numerous coal-burning power plants situated within the boundaries of London. Coal was also an important domestic fuel. Londoners had been burning a great deal of it to heat their homes during the particularly cold winter of 1952. With the Second World War having concluded less than a decade ago, resources were still a little thin on the ground. Most people, therefore, were reduced to burning low-quality coal, which didn't combust very cleanly. The sum of all these factors was that London produced a huge amount of air pollution. Weather conditions on the 5th of December 1952 conspired to trap this pollution within the city.
So on top of all that, you had this weather phenomenon called a temperature inversion.
Okay, so temperature inversion. Break that down for me.
So normally warm air rises and carries pollutants away with it.
Right.
But in this case, a layer of warm air settled over the city.
Oh.
Yeah, like a lid on a pot.
Okay.
And underneath it was all this cold, dense air.
Oh, no.
Filled with smoke and pollutants from the coal fires.
So it's all trapped.
Exactly. It just kept building up and building up.
And that created the Great Smog.
Yeah.
Wow, so like a giant city-sized pressure cooker full of coal smoke.
Pretty much.
So in 1952 in London, it was the weather phenomenon of the particularly cold winter with a layer of warm air on top that really ultimately caused the problem of the intense fog for several days. I find it interesting that weather modification technology already existed at that time.
This is the history of human weather modification. During World War II, too many British Air Force pilots were crashing while trying to land in heavy fog so thick, some crews just ditched their planes in the sea and parachuted out rather than landing blind. So scientists came up with a plan to install gasoline pipelines along both sides of the runway and ignite them to create huge rows of flame, which then evaporated suspended fog droplets, allowing the Allied aircraft to locate the airfield and land safely. In 1946, techniques were developed that triggered rain and snowfall in places that wouldn't have gotten any otherwise. This became known as cloud seeding. It works by dispersing dry ice, salt, or silver iodide into clouds to alter their microphysical processes.
I'm very curious to know what you all think about the information that I have presented here and what you think could possibly be going on. So please leave your comments and we'll have a conversation.
Thank you again so much for being here today. Please click the thumbs up since you liked it enough to make it all the way to the end. Make sure you're subscribed and share around.
If you're not already, go ahead and follow me on Instagram at My Thoughts and Songs. and on Facebook, where my username is Anna Charity. Thank you again so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless.